Well, President Biden is headed to the key battleground state of Michigan today to tout his Investing in America agenda. But 2 years ago, Biden was saying this about his so-called Inflation Reduction Act.
The fact is that my message to Congress is this. This is the strongest bill you can pass to lower inflation, cut the deficit, reduce health care costs, tackle the climate crisis, and promote energy security. All the time while reducing the burdens facing working class and middle class families.
So that was the promise, but now Biden's admitting that the legislation, it just wasn't about inflation. It was really about his climate agenda.
You know, I'm proud to announce that my investments, through my investments, the most significant climate change law ever, and by the way, it is a $369 billion bill. It's called the, we should have named it what it was, but at any rate.
You know, Charlie, it sounds like a tacit admission of the screen we're about to put up that inflation went from 1.4% when he came into office to 9.1%. It's an admission that inflation is with us now around 3%.
Yeah, the Inflation Explosion Act. It's all so dishonest. And, you know, and if you remember at the time, the reason they called it this and not the Green New Deal, when we were all trying to call it the Green New Deal, is because they knew that the Green New Deal couldn't get passed. So they killed us for calling it the Green New Deal. But and he's admitting now, that is what it was. It was the Green New Deal under a different name, and then the name turned out also to be a complete lie.
So his tacit admission about inflation came 3 days after his press secretary said this.
Yes, we've talked about this. We have seen, now to be clear, we have seen grocery prices come down over the past year or more, and so that is important. And a lot of that is the work that's been done from this administration.
Fact check, Kennedy. Groceries are 21% more expensive than when he came into office.
Yes, absolutely. And tell that to shoppers. You know, this is one of those things that's so incredibly offensive to working families because they know they haven't gotten a raise. Their groceries and rent are still more expensive, and it's harder than ever to make ends meet. And that is what matters to them. You know, they don't. When you're shopping for eggs, like Emily was last weekend, and you realize they're $10 a dozen, you're not thinking, but I'm so glad the climate is in better shape. I mean, they should have named it the Cellulite Reduction Act because no one likes cellulite either.
The Cellulite Reduction Act or the Inflation Explosion Act. I like those.
No, I think that's what you called it, right, Charlie? Look, I think it's fascinating that Biden was trying to say the quiet part out loud. He still couldn't articulate it, which is why he's not on the top of the ticket. But at least he's now warming up to the fact that maybe he should come clean about this. Look, this is all legacy for him. And if this is the only way we get the truth, that's really sad. Because if Kamala Harris now wants to peddle that she's distancing herself from him and that they're not quite the same, then she's going to have to tell us what was broken about Bidenomics and about the Inflation Reduction Act and about anything else that she tries to take credit for underneath him, and how they were always, you know, in the same room together. She was the last person in the room, no daylight between them. If she wants to peddle now that they're not the same, then what is her better idea? And how often did she tell the president that he was wrong?
And an ABC debate moderator should press her on that. But sure they won't, Emily.
That's absolutely right. And, you know, this is a reminder why in the majority of the swing states, if not all, President Trump is leading on the issue of economy, and resoundingly so against Vice President Harris. But the whole point is, well, for those who are brainwashed or washed at all by their nothing to see here, guys, it was the Inflation Reduction Act, and don't worry about that price. I fear that there are many Americans that are. And so it's so incumbent upon us to keep spreading the truth, spreading the message to all of your friends and family to go out and vote, and to vote clear-eyed, because nothing will change unless there is a change in the White House.
Well, Inflation Explosion Act. I'm stealing that one, Charlie.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.